Hi friends, in our time together today, I want to play both the Howard Low D and the Nightingale Low D. I recently had a video where I introduced and showed you all my Low D whistles, very briefly played them, and said, what head-to-head comparisons do you want to see? And one of the comparisons I was asked to do included 4 whistles, and these were 2 of them. But then a couple other people said, well, that's nice, but since the Howard and the Nightingale are so close in price point, would you please just play just those 2? And that's what I'm doing today. Now, when you choose a whistle, we've talked about this a lot. There's so many factors that go into the whistle of your choice. The Howard was my very first whistle, and I still love it. Now, my very first whistle could have been the Nightingale, and I would have loved it. These are 2 excellent whistles to own. I don't want to diss either of them. These are good options. What I want to do today is I want to talk minimally about them, but I'm more interested in you hearing them. So I'm going to play a scale. I'm going to play If I Was a Blackbird and Bonaparte Crossing the Alps. With some chatting. A couple of things about them first. The Howard has a brass body, and that's going to create a slightly warmer tone. The ABS head is tunable, and they've got these really nifty tuning marks on there. And one of the brilliant things about the Howard whistles that literally no one else does like they do is you could get, this is the balanced head, you could get the reed head that creates a brighter tone. And so it's possible to get multiple heads to create multiple whistles out of your Howard. Now, the Nightingale is aluminum body, also tunable, plastic head. The tuning is here on the body, and being aluminum, it will be a little brighter. Something else impacting the tone of both whistles is the way the head is designed. So the Nightingale is more of what we would call an easy blower, and the Howard has a little more back pressure. What that means, generally speaking, is that the Karavaev has a cleaner tone, and the Howard has a warmer tone. So a couple factors warming the tone of the Howard. Though you can get, like I said, the reed head, though I'm using the balanced head here. You can get the reed head for the Howard to brighten up its tone. And actually I have a reed head on a Howard whistle, and I'll play it at the end. And I don't want to confuse things. I just want to let you know that that's an option. So I'm going to go through this head-to-head primarily of the Howard with the balanced head and the Nightingale as it is, because that's how it comes. Now, these are 2 whistles that are right around the same price point. Both can be found easily from great suppliers, and I'll put links to where you can get each of these whistles. One other physical difference I should mention. The hole spacing on the Nightingale, the holes are a little further apart. A little bit more of a piper's grip. If hole spacing is an issue for you, be aware that the Nightingale has a slightly larger spread, even from the 1st to the 3rd and the 4th to the 6th hole. And the holes, similar sizing, but the 5th hole on the Nightingale is a little larger, but my fingers aren't big, and so even I can play it. So that's okay. It's like if you're arthritic or something, that's very, very different. My arthritis is only in my thumbs. Now, the way that works out is that I may have to break the video and make sure my fingers know where to be. on each of the two whistles. The very first thing I want to do is play a scale on each. I'm going to go bottom to top and just play a few notes and then do the same thing. So the Howard with the balanced head first. Went into Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Same thing on the Nightingale. If I remember to go into Somewhere Over the Rainbow. See, both absolutely lovely whistles to play, and I think lovely to listen to as well. So I'd like to play If I Was a Blackbird on the Howard. So there's a reason that's still like one of my favorite whistles. Now, the same thing on the Nightingale. You know, as you get into talking about these two whistles, you're now talking about some slightly subtle differences between two absolutely delightful instruments. If you bought the Howard, you would be excited you bought the Howard. If you bought the Nightingale, you'd be excited you bought the Nightingale. And if you bought both, you'd play them both, depending upon the situation. So, and I don't know that one's necessarily louder than the other. That's really kind of hard to tell. You know, it all depends, because you can play both of them within a range of volume, and that's a great thing. What I like to do now is play through Bonaparte Crossing the Alps, because it's a slightly different feel of a tune, and I just want you to hear these things. I'm going to ignore the repeats and just play through the whole thing once. First, on the Howard. Now, the reason I'm not playing like really quick tunes, because both of these are very responsive. I'm primarily interested in you hearing the tonal differences between these two. The same thing, Bonaparte crossing the Alps, ignoring the repeats on the Nightingale by Karavaev. All right. Two spoiled for choice whistles. That is so awesome. Now, so I said I wanted to play the Howard with the reed head. And what I have here is the Howard that has the key added to it. This is another option you could get on the Howard for to create close finger spacing on the bottom hand. But this is the reed head. I'm wanting you, so Howard has different options available. But I'm wanting you to hear that you could buy the Howard and you could get multiple heads. This is not really a comparison video for the heads of the Howard, just an example that you could do that. So let me do a scale. So it brightens the tone up just some on that. But again, still it maintains some of the back pressure that requires you to learn to play up in the second octave. Do it if I was a Blackbird. This is the reed head. So I would say balanced head, warmest, reed head, a little brighter, Nightingale, the most bright, but I'm more interested in you hearing them. The Howard is going to have a little more breath pressure, giving you a little more dynamic range, little being the operative term. But you're going to have to learn to play the top few notes, but it's going to require less air to play longer phrases. And the Nightingale, excuse me, is going to be freer playing bottom to top, but is going to use a little more air as you play. My friends, I hope this is a helpful comparison. Again, two amazing whistles. If you buy the Howard, you will be happy. If you buy the Nightingale, you will be happy. Just buy both. No, I'm not saying that. I'll put links to where you could get each. Such a good time in which we live. You can listen to all these whistles, and you can listen to these two. These are two great intermediate to upper intermediate, leaning in professional grade whistles that you'll be very happy with. But again, you're choosing tone. So until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.